I don't care. I don't care. No sympathy. Don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry.
What is up?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
I can do you one better. So we're going cocktail, not straight bourbon. I got the little cocktail here. We're gonna take the cinnamon stick here. We're gonna give it a little. We're gonna give it a little fire. We're gonna torch this.
Ooh.
Get some smoke.
What?
Some aromas up in here.
What is this?
This is
sorcery.
Chug's patented whiskey sour. That shout out, I believe it's
That's
Rock Doggy.
fancy. C-Pain, you're dead on, man. It's the holy shit.
Yeah,
out of the gate. That's some fancy stuff.
We're going hot. It's Thursday night football. We've had a crazy week.
Yeah.
Cheers.
The Texans has scored, so
finally
it's going to be tied going into the halftime, probably.
Yeah, going into half.
I'm drinking Zinfandel because we have our first guest tonight. It's a guy named Jack Settleman. I don't know if you know this. Big steak guy.
Oh yeah,
big steak guy.
Does he like it well done?
Perhaps one of the biggest steak guys.
How does he like him?
So Jack,
go ahead.
Steak tonight?
I did have steak tonight, and I'll say, you guys doing your show on a Thursday and being able to drink versus when we do Club Top Shot on a Tuesday, and I'm like, there's so many more days in the week. I don't know if I can drink.
Yeah.
Hey, so
I got a Zin for you because I saw that you were having a steak. The tomatoes, the cast iron. It looks like I feel like I've been following along on your journey to being like a steak guy, and it pleases me greatly. So how was it tonight? What was this? What was the cut? What was the technique? Walk us through it.
Well, first of all, now that you mentioned the cast iron, I'm remembering that I forgot to clean it. So my roommate's gonna kill me.
That's seasoning.
It seasons it. But we went with the strip tonight. And the backstory for when the steak theme came along was actually me and my buddies, we got a CryptoPunk and we sold it and we made some nice money. He works for a big meat company. And so that was like our celebration. He sent me a huge package. So I had unlimited meat for like 2 weeks. It was amazing. But I ran out.
Can you hook us up?
I wish.
You gotta hit us up with who he is.
You got a meat guy?
I wish I had a meat guy because
I feel like that's a good guy to have. There's
good landscaping guy is important.
Yeah.
If you got to hook up there, that's big. You'll learn.
Yeah. A good meat guy. Really, really important. That's awesome, man. So how are you? You doing well?
Doing well. No complaints. I've been traveling a little, but back in New York for the week and the weekend, which feels good. It feels good to be home. I don't have a lawn, so I don't need my my guy yet, but I would imagine at some point in the future that makes sense.
Yeah. Chuck, do you have a lawn guy yet, or do you do your own?
In the new house, we have a lawn guy for now. I am I'm not in any I'm not motivated to take care of it quite yet. We don't have like a fence yet and stuff. Like I want everything sort of set up, and then I don't mind popping headphones in and like cutting my own grass and stuff. That's not, when you got 2 kids, it's actually not. It's kind of like little away, you throw in a podcast or something, trim the hedges.
Incredible. It's my favorite 90 minutes of the weekend. It's maybe if I can extend it into like 120, I'll do a little crosshatch. I've got like 1.6 acres and 1.5 of it is grass.
You got a riding though, probably, right?
Oh man. Oh yeah. Liberty Z Skag. It's beautiful. Literally, I thought it cost more than my car for a long time until I just went to go look at a new truck. And apparently my car is worth a lot more than I thought it was because used cars are worth like $1 quadrillion right now because of the stock it's apparently like supply chain issues. Anyway, big long guy. So one day, Jack, when you get out of the city,
be there.
You can be a long guy. You're a steak guy, but you can be a long guy.
I prefer that for now.
Last thing I wanted to ask you on steak, have you gotten to cap yet? Have you cooked cooked a ribeye cap yet? Have you gotten to that one?
No, what
Cool.
is that?
I've never done that either.
So ribeye
Explain.
cap. Otherwise, it's also called spinalis, like the fancy word in restaurants. So if you've you've had a ribeye a million times. Like y'all have had ribeye cap.
My favorite.
So you know the part of the ribeye that like extra shreddy and like really good.
Yeah.
I mean, like the marble. Yeah, it's just that. Like it's literally just that. But the way a ribeye is, right? Like along the cow, there's like ribeye. Well, imagine just slicing along several ribeyes, just the cap. And so it's cut that it's literally like the best part of the ribeye. It's really expensive. It's only like if it's not a prime cut, like don't even bother for a ribeye cap at least. It's meant to be super fatty and marbled. Well, I mean, look, a Jack Steak guy.
I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, I've had the Wagyus before. I've never cooked a Wagyu. I wouldn't dare doing that. But you got to vouch here.
It is.
I've never even heard of it.
Me either.
Look it up. Like I said, you guys, it's not like you haven't eaten it before, but like having it prepared where that's the only part of the ribeye. It's sometimes served like literally wrapped up like in a spiral, and it's like it looks like a bundle almost. It's delicious. I'm more of a, since I've got like, you know, an outdoor patio and stuff, I'm cooking on like a green egg outside. I guess you're more the indoor like skillet finishing kind of thing.
Okay, I get what the cut is. I totally get it. All right, I'll have to try that. Although I've never seen, like, I guess I don't Google steaks often, but if you Google steaks, apparently they put the pricing next to it, and the prices of a ribeye cap, it's definitely a nice cut of beef.
It's expensive, yeah.
I did learn the reverse sear though.
Yeah,
I put off 1 or 2 reverse seared. Obviously, did not go perfect, but I'm trying to add that to my repertoire. That's pretty much it. Ribeye cap. The problem is, unless my meat guy sends me meat, I get it Trader Joe's, and I feel like that's not where you buy a ribeye cap.
Can you guys hear me,
I don't
by
think
the way?
they sell it.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
yeah.
So my Chrome just stopped responding, so I'm expecting that this is gonna like boot me off. So if I do get booted off, I was trying to share my screen so that I could show this ribeye cap situation. Gotcha. If I do get booted off, I will hop back in. You guys are gonna just have to make.
So your Chrome is not responding, but you're completely live right now.
Apparently. Yeah, you seem perfectly fine right now.
Yeah,
your connection actually got better.
It's clear. Yeah,
you were like, that's insane.
The Plungeon is good.
It's very likely this is going to crap out on me in a minute. So if it does, keep talking amongst yourselves, and then we will continue.
I wanted to ask you, Jack, while before we get into like Nights of DJ and Top Shot and other stuff, during football, are you traveling more like in the middle of the seasons, or are you traveling more off seasons, like meeting people and stuff?
Oh, way more during the season.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, because we do a lot of content on the ground. Okay, I think he's gone. No,
I think so. He's frozen.
Yeah. Anyway, decent freeze cam though. Okay, so we'll give credit there.
He doesn't look like a serial killer or anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I travel a ton. That's why I said like staying in the city for a weekend is actually like an occurrence. But I should be here. Oh, we're doubled up. Okay.
That was about to be good. Okay.
He's mirroring the face. Yeah.
So yeah, you have the rare week at home basically. Is what you're saying.
Which is solid. But I enjoy it. Like I'm young, and I think that's when you can travel. I'm moving with my girlfriend in March, so that's what is it sweet. That's
get it in now.
Yeah. No, but exactly. She's like, you
travel
travel all the time. You're gonna leave me for work. I'm like.
It is what it is.
I'm going to try and do as much as I can now. It's funny. The one thing I wanted to do that I probably, if I was more into, if COVID didn't happen, and at this point in my career where we're working with the Underdog and we're working with some content companies, my dream was to go to a game every day for an entire calendar year and just like road trip it. Some sport.
Is it possible?
Plan out. So there's only one day that there's no big league sport.
Like one of the major four.
It's like MLB. It's like the days in between the MLB All-Star game. But there's WNBA. You could go to a high school game.
MLS.
Yeah, you could absolutely
hockey.
So I wanted to plan that out. I started planning it a couple years ago while I was at a different job, and then COVID happened, and now I'm at the age where like I don't know if my body could take it. I'm moving in with the girlfriend. The dream is
Write a
dead.
damn
But
good book.
yeah, exactly. You go to a game with a buddy, you vlog the whole thing, you do content. I think it would be cool. And then the obvious tie-in is you just bet the price of your ticket on every game.
Right.
So some games get pricey, some are free, and the bets for like when you go to the Super Bowl or you go to the NBA Finals, like those would be crazy.
They could get pretty hefty pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty juicy.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So you mentioned Underdog. You mentioned sort of like working with other things. You got a lot going on right now, and obviously we'll talk about Knights of Degen stuff. But like, what are you doing right now? Like, other than that, it seems like everything right now. So, what's a day in the life of Jack Settlement look like?
Yeah, we were joking about this in Discord, in Pete's Discord earlier today. Like, people were like, "What do you do?" I was like literally 6 months ago, I could, yeah, 6 months ago, I could have given you a very clear description of my day to day. Now with the NFT world and especially the Knights, it's just like everything has changed. But most people only know me from Top Shot and NFT, at least in this world,
right? In Twitter world,
Twitter sphere, Discord. But the main business is Snapback Sports, a sports media company that I started a few years ago. I went full time with it in January, and it's been amazing. It originated from, I built the largest sports Snapchat account in the world. So it's like a mixture of House of Highlights, Sports Center, ESPN, all that good stuff. Highlights, memes, sports culture. And so that's got, it does 30 million views a month. And that's where Underdog and TickPick and some of our other sponsors kind of advertise on. And so I just, from that was the origination. Then I started thinking about content and branding myself. So we did the podcast, we do, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. So that's the business. And then I started thinking, I didn't really do it, but I moved to Whistle Sports about a year and a half ago. And they were like, you need to start thinking of yourself as talent. Like, people will pay you to talk. And I'm like, that's a crazy concept, right? Right. So I started doing talent stuff. I hosted some betting streams for Bleacher, for all that good stuff. So that's what I do in my full-time job. Now with the NFTs, it's like I got another full-time job. I wake up in the morning and I'm on Twitter for an hour and a half, and I'm like, I'm working. I haven't gotten out of bed. It's 10:30, but I'm working,
Yeah. It's sort of interesting how you divide your time, right? Like, I've got a full-time corporate America job. Chugs has a full-time corporate America job, and like, you're peppering things in throughout the day, but like, you have meetings, you have other things going on. But like, when things shift and things change, it's like, what is work? changes pretty significantly. But so you mentioned, like, that's a big portion of what you're doing. You mentioned NFTs, you mentioned sort of like the Top Shot stuff. It seems like the project, and we can start talking about Knights of Degen now. Like, can you give the high level overview of like what that is for everybody here that may not be super familiar, and how it sort of melds all of the things that you have been doing for the last 2 to 5 years or whatever, like, into sort of the NFT verse more broadly?
Yeah. So, I mean, I see someone in the chat wrote Giannis lawsuit. That was actually I saw
that tweet. I would love to know that.
Yeah, so when I was at Whistle, we were selling like these NBA Jam-ish t-shirts, but they were nicknames and they had like funny attributes. Like Lonzo had like whatever, rapping as one of his instead of like shooting, and with the nicknames, someone put Greek Freak, and like, you just, that's a trademark nickname. And so it's not him obviously, but he has a trademark lawyer who literally goes around sending ceases and desists for people who are using it and selling his likeness. He sent it to the office in March. No one went to the office for 4 months. This was literally start of COVID. So they upgraded it to an actual lawsuit. And that's why we had to settle we didn't actually go to court, but Whistle had to pay Giannis's team because like, who sends mail in the mail? Yeah, it was COVID. So yeah, that was funny. But Knights of Degen, NFTs, like, I've been in NFTs now since I guess last October or whatever, when I got into Top Shot. and just been grinding since really January and February when I started buying anything besides Top Shot, other than Top Shot. And I knew I was going to get into my own NFT in some form or fashion. I didn't want to rush it. Like, I think, we see all the athlete cash grabs. We've seen Barstool, they released one. You haven't heard of their NFT in 6 months. Yeah, I had to settle, man. Someone already used that Twitter reply, so don't think you're sneaky. But I didn't know if it was going to be through Snapback. I think the concept of a coin and a currency for Snapback is probably coming in the future, but it's nothing that I think the tech and utility is there for quite yet. Yeah. But when I heard the Knights of Degen team, when Jared reached out and we were talking, I knew Drew was involved, and then Blake as an artist. Like, I've been following Blake's cards. Like, I was in Topps 2020 when he was making physical cards. And so I'm like, that's a legit team. They're not anonymous. They're putting themselves out there, and they're going to build this thing like a startup. I'm like, this team makes sense. And I know that attaching myself to a project is a big move at this point, just because I've kind of garnered a little bit of respect up to this point. So I felt comfortable, and the team's been better than I even imagined. Clay runs the Discord. He's a fucking stud. I mean, it's that skill. Like, I was hired right out of college to run, Action Network's Twitter, and running a Discord might be 10 times more important. And he literally could be best in class for it. So what the Knights of Degen are.
Can you tell him to cool it on the announcements a little bit?
Yeah,
maybe
he pings the announcement. That's what we do. It's like the new push notification, right? From your app. I turn off all Discord notifications, which is probably what you should do. Or
yeah, I mean, default should, in my opinion, should be like basically turn off
everything
except for like at notifications for yourself.
Yeah, I think I want to to turn those on, but
it's super hard to do, though.
I get so many notifications. I mean, my Twitter mentions are still on. Oddly enough, my DMs are off. But Knights of Degen,
probably avoiding a lot of the same crap that I get, which is like 5 to 10. Hey, projects. Would you like to be our spokesperson for this thing?
I don't get I get that every once in a while, but my DMs are pretty healthy. I mean, after saying this,
so you said your Twitter DMs are closed?
Yeah. No, they're open. Just the notifications are off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the big one, and I get a lot I don't know if you check your spam folder, but like a lot of them end up in there, and I still check them. And funnily enough, like I've found 1 or 2 that I see in there. I'm like, actually, I'm curious now, and let me go look. Yeah. But most of the time it's just like a delete. My favorite though, dude, are the crypto influencers that ask me if I want them to promote me. So there's a couple that have like literally 2 million followers, and they're like, "Hi, would you like me to promote you?" And I'm like, "No." Like, I'm not selling anything.
Right.
No, thank you. But I'm curious now. Like, how much does that cost?
It's like $200. It's hey with 3 Y's and a heart emoji, and it's that you look in their followings like 3 million, and you're like, God. Okay.
They're all and then you see it's the
not real
2.9 million bots that are in Discord with them
in the Ukraine or something.
I would be really curious of my followers. I think it hit 16,000 Twitter followers today. I would be really curious. Like, I don't, and there's like there's like sites that'll track that, like the health of your followers, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, like, I would be super curious how many of my 16,000 followers are like real people.
I'm sure the majority, because you've built it in a pretty organic way. And you
get giveaways and stuff. Or but not like through Twitter though. It's not like retweet this and like me.
Yeah. Early on, the first like few thousand were that. There were lots because everybody was doing Top Shot giveaways, and it was like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And then once I hit 5,000, it was like, I'm getting really sick of fucking doing these. Number one, and number two, not really into this anymore. So I got away from that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in social for 5+ years now, and like I can get a pretty good grip on whose account's legit and who's not. Like, you've built it the right way, and it's simple. You can just run engagement and see what they're, the person with 3 million followers who gets 8 likes, probably not that healthy of a following.
Oh man, it's super interesting though. So I'm curious, like especially with Knights of Degen, you have some pretty big names in the space connected to the project in a variety of different ways. So I'm curious, like it sounded like this is something that you have sort of hitched your wagon to, and now you're part of the team and helping design and drive. But like, who else is on the team? You mentioned Blake, who, if anybody doesn't know, Blake.art is his website. But he's got more than just like Blake Jameson is like not just, oh, hey, this NFT for, this Knights of Degen thing. Like he's an artist that happens to be involved in this project. But can you sort of articulate who else is involved and sort of what the roles for those people are?
Yeah. So obviously Blake, like we're looking at, and like I said before, and you just mentioned it too, before NFTs, he was a well-renowned artist, and then he won Beckett, which is sports cards, artist of the year. So he's pretty good at what he does. And then we've got Drew Austin, who runs Red Beer Ventures. So just really good at investing. I mean, he does it for a living. And then he's obviously a huge presence in the NFT world. Huge in Zed. He was really one of the first ones to dominate that space. And, he's got business in other places as well. Jared Augustine, he's less probably known in the NFT world per se, but he's a CEO of a real company, which I think is rare. And it's really, really good. It's called Thuzio. He was high up at Seamless Grubhub too. Pete, he's the guy that's way smarter than me and handles all the contracts and all that good stuff. And then, like I said, Clay, Mike's teamed up with Blake as well. So, and we've got some really smart people that are kind of behind the scenes. And then we just added Jerry Ferrara, kind of in an advisory role. And he's been in the NFT space, and I'm just biased to him because everyone loves Entourage, and he's a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan, so that's what I care about. Yeah,
he seems with it. I saw a couple. It looks like there's a couple like relatively renowned people in the Discord. I saw Deshaun Kaiser pop up the other day.
Yeah. So what Jared's company?
I love Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah. So and you saw he's into NFTs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what Jared's company Thuzio does is they hook up athletes and celebrities with, the general fan for a meet and greet or different events. And so he has a ton of relationships. So we've got, we had Sean O'Hara in the Discord just kicking it for the Giants game. We have another guy for the Texan from the, an old Texans player. So that's kind of just like, these are the little small ads just based off the network and connections that a lot of these people have. And it's been cool so far.
Yeah. So I bought my Mint Pass. So it was last Tuesday. I saw I had sort of like known you guys were going through things, and I was like, it was right before you guys went on Club Top Shot on Tuesday to talk about it. And I was like, what's going to happen right now? I'm going to buy this, and then it's going to pump because of Club Top Shot. And then like you're betting on, like you're betting. And basically like my thesis on why I bought it and why I minted these things is not just, hey, the art's going to be cool. Hey, the utility is going to be cool. Cause I think it will be. And I want you to explain a little bit more about what that looks like. But like team wise, like you're making a bet on, at least in my opinion, you're making a bet from a financial perspective on, can this group of people execute? Right. And that's basically my thesis was like, I don't really want to bet against Jack and Drew. Like that's basically what it was.
And I'll say for the preset, what price did you get your Mint Pass at?
119.
That was also part of it. It was like, we wanted new people to come into the space and potentially have this as their first NFT. It's not like we're asking you to, donate a full ETH, right? It was a very reasonable
not at
price.
That point.
yeah, exactly. not quite yet. Not quite yet. So I think, like you said, the team that's being built and actually building like a startup, like it was the ETHlings today, like essentially rugged their entire community. And I just, when we were willing to be front facing, we have these silly little avatars, but like I'm a very front, like I said, I get paid to do talent, it's not,
Yeah, you're
it's just,
visible.
it's just not worth it for me to fuck over, 10,000 plus people and ruin your rep. And you see that talked about often in the NFT space. Like, what is it literally worth for Pranksy to screw people over? Like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? I'm not anywhere close to that level, but it's just not worth it. And I trust these people. I think they're good people at the end of the day. So that had a lot to do with it. Just knowing that everyone was kind of aligned on that front.
Makes total sense. And I'm with you 100%. And I've talked about this before. People ask like, what's important about an NFT? Like, how do you know which ones to get into?
Yeah.
And I think in the blind mint stuff, right, where it's coming out and like, hey, you have to make a snap judgment quickly.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily betting on anybody having done anything yet, right? Like it's a crapshoot. I'm spinning the dice, or I'm like rolling the dice. I'm spinning the wheel, right? Pick your metaphor. And maybe I hit on something. If you're buying something on secondary, that's a very different dynamic, right? And when I say secondary, for anybody that's unaware, like it's already been minted, it's already out there. I'm making an active choice to come into this project at whatever price point it is. Like it's at that point that I think it's far more important to have conviction with the team, have conviction with what you think it will do in terms of utility, if that's important to you or otherwise, because there's many projects as well that like utility, frankly, doesn't really matter all that much. The time dropped today. I don't know. Did you try and get in on this?
I didn't. And then I was in Discord and I was like, I'm not trying to FUD, but
it was brutal.
When they're at 3 ETH, it's like,
yeah.
Once again, this is my problem, is like these legacy brands that get in, and they were smart and they did it thoughtfully, working with the artists. And I think what they did was cool, but we've seen it time and time again. Anyone who hasn't been in the space that just dumps in, I just don't know if I can trust it to maintain. I don't know what's promised. I just don't know what's coming from it. So I think they're really cool. I do. But I don't know if I'm spending an ETH and a half to grab it.
It would have been awesome to be able to get one at 0.1 ETH, but unfortunately, there's a bunch of threads on this. Like there were devs and people who really understand how this stuff fits together that figured out where the contracts were before they went live, because they scoured the test net and figured out that the wallet that they were minting and test minting in the test net had the same wallet address, and the token IDs were like, or excuse me, the wallet IDs where the like mainnet one was. So there were people lined up. There was 300 plus people ready to snap these things up immediately with gas that was like 3 to 5 ETH each. Like that was the gas price, because they knew what was going to happen. So it seems like, at least in those situations, like it's less important of the team with time, right? Like you're making a bet that this thing is going to just pop in whatever way. And it's a great bet, right? That's a great bet, because those people turned around and sold them for a huge fucking profit. But it doesn't help anybody that's brand new, and it doesn't help anybody get into the space that didn't or wasn't already here. And that's sort of it's a really interesting balancing act for teams in general, regardless of if you're a big brand or otherwise, is like how much, like what's important to us? Is it important for us to be accessible? And at a particular price point? Is it more important for us to just like be in and get through the drop and like do our business and move along and like then execute the next steps of our process? Because it's like such a significant portion of your time getting ready for this thing, when ultimately like that's just the beginning, right? Like that's the beginning of your project, not the end of it.
And if it was, I think you're more careful and thoughtful about it. And that's why I was really proud of what we did.
Right. With the mid passes. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So our strategy was, once again, like we don't, go ahead. We don't want to exclude the whales and the true players in the NFT space who know how to raise gas and do all that good stuff. But we want to kind of include everyone. And so we are conscious of gas wars. So we built up the Discord Thursday Night Football week 1. And we said, we're going to not do anything crazy to cut it off, but we're only dropping the link in Discord. And so it sold out in like 15 minutes or something, 2,200-ish passes. And we felt really good about that. Yeah, there was still some high gas because people were minting 10 at a time, and it was Thursday night, which it seems to be the most expensive night for gas. But we kept it exclusive to that. Then from there, we let it settle for a week. We let people trade on it. And then for the past 45 hours, we've been doing this redemption festival. So if you own a mint pass, which you could have either minted yourself or gotten on OpenSea, you could mint the one plus buy two more at the original mint price. So no gas wars at all. Like I woke up at 6 a.m. and minted for, it was essentially like $12 a night. So it was, it cost nothing. And then we'll be left with like 2,500 of them for the public mint. And so, right, Plunge, this is where, the gas wars will come into play. And there might, it's really not for the beginners, the public mint, but we feel confident in saying, hey, we gave everyone a chance who wanted to not do that, who wanted to slowly go through the process to grab one. And so you've got like 2 hours left to buy a mint pass, mint 1 or 3. If you buy the mint pass, you should definitely buy 3. It's like Knights of Degen dash mint pass.
I'm going to go through the actual links.
Yeah. That's the smart thing to do.
Go through the actual.
I've been hovering through everything. Like, should I get a mint pass right now and just do this? Or,
yeah,
or am I gonna wait for the other side?
So my and then perfect example. Perfect example of like why I'm confident in the project, why I'm excited about the project. I like. People were joking saying I fudded my own project, but I literally said at one point in a Discord, I was like, you guys should be selling the mint pass. Mathematically, it makes no sense, right? Like the price of a night is not worth what it is. And then now what's going to be really fun over the next 2 hours is like these mint passes that are priced at essentially, 1 plus the option to buy 2. So they're essentially priced at 0.2.
Add 0.18 to this.
That's exactly.
That's what your 3 nights are going to cost.
Yeah, but like once midnight hits, they're not.
Those tickets are nothing, right?
They're not nothing because you can still get 1 night, but the privilege to buy 2 more. So these should drop to the price of nights. Right. But it's going to be fun to see the game theory, right? Like, do you just list yours for 0.26 at like 11.58? Right. And if someone wants to come in, they can get 3 for super cheap. So I think that's part of the fun of like, we're all making bets. These also had metadata for week 1, which was cool, where like, depending on the score of your NFL week 1 game, if you go to, I think it's under properties.
Yeah, in properties, you have a game.
Yeah.
I noticed.
So like Bears Rams obviously wasn't the highest scoring, but 40 people who had the Niners Lions tickets got a free one on top. Just cool little things like that. And that, I mean, not to go too far into it, but that's why I'm excited about, Jerry joining the team, because we want to build some folklore into these things, right? Like they are knights, medieval times, and who better to help write that than, a professional in the space.
Makes total sense. So with the knights, it sounds like, and just like timelines here, the festival ends tonight for people to redeem their mint passes if they have them. If they have done that, I've minted all 3 of mine. Nice. I've got now 3 Knights of Degen tokens here. The public sale is on the 30th, correct? Yep. So a week from today on Thursday.
Yep.
So the public sale goes then. And then at that point, then all of the 10,000, it's 10,000, right? Did I get that right?
It's 8888.
Excuse me, 8888. So each of the 8888, like, for the ones remaining right now, there's however many 6.1. So there's going to be 2 and change, probably 2,000 and change.
Yeah, I'm guessing 2.5K will be the number. But that's the thing, like the redemption rate. And you just saw some in the chat mention it. There's only 10 min passes left up for sale. Like and the redemption rate has been 2.95 to 1. Like that's
so
like
what everybody's doing 3.
Literally.
By the way, thanks NFT God for the gifted subs. Much appreciated. I think he just gifted 25 subs. So
wow,
awesome.
Let's go. Let's go.
Much appreciated.
Yeah,
we'll have to talk about Rue Crew a little bit later on.
He was on the first minute earlier.
So he was on the first minute a little bit earlier. So
Chugs, the only people, like it's 2.952 or something to 1. And apparently it was like the super early people who didn't mint the extras. And now everyone since has just minted all 3 because it's like, obviously, you just do math.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We got just under half an ETH for a mint pass, and we've got 0.21 is the floor on an individual night. So
I mean, that's
there's 3. So if you bought 3 nights individual, if you bought 3 nights individually, you'd be paying 0.64 plus gas,
which is 0.21 times 3.
Right.
Well, 0.21, 0.21, 0.22. So technically, whatever.
It's dead on.
It's dead on.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's what I'm most impressed with is like there were small ARB opportunities. You could buy them in pass, drop somewhat, but the math has been pretty straight on. And I'll be honest, I thought when people bought the mint passes, right, they bought it for 0.08. Like I figured there'd be a lot of dumping. And then as more supply came as well, like we're now at essentially 3/4 of supply into the ecosystem. I thought there'd be more dumping as well. And they've only gone up. Like it almost makes no sense how the floor is held that well.
It's not insignificant though. I mean, like if you look at so the volume traded on the mint pass, right? Like vast majority of them traded between 0.1 and 0.4. So if you divide that by 330, right? You're looking at over 1,000 that changed hands out of however many there were, right? Like, and that's not an insignificant amount.
No, not at all.
But when you start looking at these pieces and you start thinking, okay, so like 35, most have gone between 0.1 and 0.2. You're looking at, okay, let's say it's 10 per, right? You're looking at 350 or so that have changed hands out of 6,000 or a little less than that. So less than 10% turnover. And the vast majority of them aren't really priced in that range of like, there's only however many for sale, like 100. I think it's like very few, 73. Yeah. So like people are
there's only 73 nights for sale.
73
Holy shit.
And
that's bizarre.
2 of them just dropped to 0.2 from 0.21. It's getting a little shaky.
I'm so excited to just see the 2 gaps. We've got 2 gaps. The gap between now and the public mint, where there's really nothing going on, besides maybe if we announce some stuff. And then the gap between the public mint when we sell out. Like at this point, I'm confident in saying it's going to be a pretty good sellout. Yeah. And the gap between the gap between that and the art reveal is going to be epic because that's what we're most passionate about. It's like the true stage of being a degenerate. You're literally buying a lotto ticket at that point. Just hoping on the rarity, and you're getting the aliens or the robots. So I'm pumped to see that. And then, like I said, I kind of funded my own project, and I'll continue to say this as well. I'm very conscious of the price mattering in NFTs. Price momentum is huge, and the floor price absolutely. I mean, OpenSea literally tracks it as one of their main metrics. But I'm not like overly concerned if these things drop to 0.15 in between, or they drop to 0.12. Like, I think we're building something for the future. And I'm not going to give you like the Gary V. Yeah, I'm working on my 45-year-old project. Like, no, we got to make shit happen in the next 3 weeks, the next 3 months. But I don't worry if our goal is to get to 1 ETH floor, in the next few months, in the next month, whenever. The drop between 0.2 to 0.15, it's real. It's 25%, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty small movement. So I'm building for the longer term, and I feel like in NFTs, longer term means like a few months. Like that's the target.
Well, you always have this kind of the folks playing pack lotto, as we say, the Top Shot, right? Like there's always going to be the folks that are part of the current buyers that are playing that game, and that's really all they care about. Like they don't really care about the plans or whatever. And then there's the folks that are in there who are like, I'm not sweating any kind of decline because what's being built here is more substantial than that. And like for what it's worth, I think you guys have levers that you can pull that are better than most, right? Yeah. So it's just a matter of you initially kind of weed out that buy the rumor, sell the news crowd, and you hope you hope or you have a good feeling that crowd isn't that big, right? You know, like if it's 70% of your group, well, then that kind of sucks. But if
Right.
it's only like, 4% or 5% or something, then, you're off. You have like a 1 week hiccup, and then you're off to just focus on the project.
That's the metric we haven't really shared as much that I think is the most impressive. I think it was something like 61% of Mint Pass holders only had the one, which is pretty insane. Like there was like 20% that had 5 or more, like 5 to 10. I actually don't even know if it was that high, but 61% had only one, which shows, I think, a good thing, right? There's no one holding too much inventory. Because I thought, you hold 5, then you meant 3 each. Now you have 15. Now we could see a little dumping, but if you only have 61%, if you have 61% who have one, the worst case scenario is like, not bad scenario, but most realistic is like that person, they sell one of their nights, which covers, essentially their initial costs. And then they free roll 2, which I think is healthy. 1 to hold forever and 1 to sell, whenever they want to in the future. So I think it's a really healthy kind of share from that perspective.
Yeah. Unique ownership is definitely something that, ultimately that's what you want, right? You want as many people that are engaged as possible, or like that's what you go for. Unless
they hold from the top Derrick Rose moments, and they can pump their evaluate market.
Yeah. So and you guys, I think you've not been shy about talking, at least in the times that I've heard you talk about this, like with the oh gosh, it's called the treasure chest, the knight's chest,
the king's purse,
the king's purse, whatever
vault,
it is. So you guys are you sort of borrowed, if not directly, like sort of tangentially to what the Penelope's Country Club is using with the Kitty Bank in terms of like part of ownership of this token. One of these nights, one of these 8,888 will be a representative component or share of this King's Purse, which is going to have high value NFTs that are sort of for sports focused, or less like art generative stuff like the Kitty Bank, but more Zed, Top Shot, and other things. So can you talk a little bit about that and the dynamics that will play out with, I own 3 nights. What does that mean for me?
Yeah. I when I heard that the PERS did that, I kind of figured that most projects did that. I was actually pretty shocked that they don't. Like you would, right? You would think that, like, I don't know, because I run my own business and it's like, okay, you've got revenues, you've got expenses, you've got profits, and like something has to make something worth something. So it's like, all right, let's build this vault of NFTs that are kind of going to be the backing to them, right? If you don't have that, a lot of what you have is just another profile picture project, which in
and of itself,
which can be valuable, cannot be valuable, and there's definitely
I listened to Club Top Shot.
It affects the sustainability though. Like it forces you to have to keep the music playing, which like NBL's big on with Bored Apes. Like they're cool because they're valuable, and like they just got to keep the music playing. So having like a repository of like having a store of value backing
here.
Definitely smart.
Yeah, so that's why I think it was super important. And so that's one portion of it. And I saw someone write earlier, does me holding multiple nights matter? Yes, you get that equivalent share as a night holder. And kind of going down the levels, we're also going to have a degen currency, which we're going to work with potentially brands. We're going to work with the vault as well to make sure people, are rewarded for being night holders. We had a long conversation about staking today. There's nothing that's concrete. The only thing concrete is we are going to absolutely do staking. We just want to figure out the most optimal way to do that. If instead of holding my night in my OpenSea wallet, like I might as well stake it somewhere if I plan on holding it, right? So that's part of it. The people who are on the tech side of this are way smarter than me. They're working with, you can see, working with partners that roll.
They're different kind of smart.
Exactly. And then I think one of the cooler things will be we'll buy NFTs for the vault, but then we'll also fractionalize them and we'll airdrop them. And there's been discussions. It's like, well, can't someone sell that right away? It's like, yeah, you can. but there's also value to passive income and making back some of your original investment as well. That's a dividend, right? That's why we hold different stocks, is so you get paid dividends. Like, just because Apple pays me a dividend doesn't mean the expectation is I take the dividend and buy more Apple stock. No, it's yours to have, and it's for being a quality investor. So those are just a few ways that I think these are going to bring meaningful utility. And then, it's sports betting, right? So people are in the Discord. I think sports betting content, the whole concept over next year, essentially 2022, is going to be all about the group ride. You see it with Barstool. Their whole content is about riding. They're not trying to act like they're experts. But that's what's fun about sports betting. I shouldn't say no one. A lot of the people in the DFS fantasy and sports betting space do think they're grinding edges and lines. But like, if you're on Twitter and you're giving out pick, you're not really doing that.
Although I did give my lock of the week last week.
What was it?
Oh yeah, the Niners -3.5 against Philly, and they covered.
They deserve to cover. Yeah, right.
Doesn't matter. That was the lock of the week. It was the condo steamer pick of the week.
I don't know if it's
lock of the week.
I don't know if it's true or not, but it reminds me of the bell curve where like you have on one end like the people who don't think anything and they're like, I like that pick, and then the middle it's like all this analyzing, and then at the other side of like the smart guy, they're like, I like that one. It's like that. Right. The genius and the fool are are closer than you think.
Yeah. But, so I think that's what we're going to see a lot of. And we've had people pop in the Discord. And one of the fun things is going to be the King's Hand, which puts out, the bet of the week. And then from time to time, we'll actually use money from secondary sales to fund the bet of the week. And if it wins, it goes into the vault, and it gets, so it's fun. Like,
and if it loses, then fuck.
If it loses, it was a few dollars off the secondary sales from OpenSea. You know what I mean?
So are the picks? Are those you might have just said it? Are those picks set by you guys, or is it like voted on upon holders?
Both.
Okay.
That's
really that's cool.
Don't let Joe Public decide, please.
Yeah. So like I had our first one ever we did. I put it that because I was in Vegas. I put $1,000 on the Ravens -3.5, and everyone's pumped up after we're up 14-0. And then it obviously turned into
that wasn't
disaster.
affected by you at all.
Yeah. So I think that's just a fun aspect. And then I know on the site in the roadmap, we're talking like Super Bowl or March Madness plans. Like, you don't have to just because you're a night holder doesn't mean we're flying you out first class to Vegas but like a live event, when hopefully COVID's cooled off, would be super fun. I will say just a pre-warning to all the Knights watching or listening. I went to Vegas in 2018 opening weekend. I think I went 3-22 on Thursday. Wow. And I say Thursday because there wasn't really a bankroll for Friday or Saturday or Sunday.
You just go home at that point.
It was wild. I was there. So I was there for the Action Network. That's where I worked right out of school. And listen, I was reading their content. I was taking my own picks, and it's just
2018. I need to go back and see was the first round like a bloodbath, like Underdog City, or
no? Probably it was probably Favorite City. Would have been 18.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, look at he's really diving deep into that.
He says fuck
I'm completely out of here.
I'm in it to win it. Now that's super interesting. So it sort of melds all these things together, and I think I have this interesting thesis that community is going to matter only in pockets, right? There are going to be, especially in the NFT space, like community will matter when it is beneficial to be a part of that community in a meaningful, like tangible way. If it's just for conversation and like, oh, hey, rah, rah, kumbaya shit, like plenty of people have that in spades elsewhere. And like, I am actually bearish on the idea, generally speaking, that like community is a driving factor in the vast majority of projects because it, like, especially with the larger NFT space, like kind of concentrated with only X number of people in it, like it just gets really tired really quickly. And the vast majority of us didn't have like you could count on one hand the number of communities that you were a part of before you came into the NFT space. Now you got 30 fucking Discords to keep track of. So like, I don't care enough to like pay attention unless it's financially or emotionally or some other meaningful. Like,
there's no doubt that they'll carry hype cycles, right? Like I mean, you heard us on Club Top Shot. Like, I think it was perfect timing, and then they executed from it. But like, the Bored Ape community got so excited because they did. I mean, they were there, and they did have that idea of community pretty early on. But like, CryptoPunks community is non-existent. Like, everyone's so spread out. I feel like the only thing they really care about is like being a punk owner, right? Which is a cool thing.
The history, right?
Yeah. But like
MBL and I've been I listened to Club Top Shot on Tuesday. I am very aligned with you and Pete in that there is something like there is more to it than just, hey, it's fun and it's cool and it's cool because it's going up. Like it's very difficult to put your finger on what they're doing differently and what the value add is and all of those things. But I think what MBL gets right is that like the punks community in general has narrative in a very like you can't expunge the narrative regardless of whether or not it's the first NFT or not. Like I have the same line of like literally Jack, I was listening back to it and I was like, this is the same exact conversation that I've had with MBL. Like you and I were just in total lockstep. It was hilarious. But I think generally speaking, and we had Andres on from Ether Cards, and I asked him something about punks, and I was like, punks don't have utility. Like, is that a problem for the punks? And he says, no, it's a benefit. Because it means that there's no cap on what their value, right? Like there isn't any, if you just define utility for this thing, there's going to be a specific threshold at which that utility becomes not worth the cost of the thing, right?
It's a really good point.
And so Apes is a really good example. Like, what does $50,000 buy or 50 ETH buy you? Like, okay, would you spend 50 ETH on a country club membership? Fuck no. Right. Even if you could play golf whenever you wanted and get food whenever you wanted and use the pool and the facilities, like it's not cool to. It's a flex. Period. Full stop. That's what it is. And cool if you're holding on and you've got diamond hands, but like if you put utility on the top of some of these things, like there is an inherent cap and there's an inherent ceiling on what like that value can drive towards. If it's a historical piece like punks, I'd never thought about it that way, and I don't know that I like
really smart. I
don't know that I fully agree with it. Like I'm 90% in agreement with it, but it made me think about things a little bit of it.
I don't think anything's fully one way or the other, but I mean, I look at this stuff on Candy, right, with what they're doing. I think their stuff's really, really cool.
I think so too.
But the problem is right now, it's like when you list out the utility of that NFT and it's like you throw the first pitch, you get a stadium tour, and you get to meet players. Everyone's first calculation is like, okay, is this worth it? Yeah. So I think that is totally a value point, and it's something to think about as you get into these projects. And we talked about like the only thing that can really cripple punks at this point is like Larva doing something. Like if Larva
and missing on it.
So stay out of the way. So just like let it be. And I agree with MBL and you as well that like Meebits doesn't have that, right? They're built on the back of that and whatnot. But so I'm really curious to see. I'm happy to be a part of this Knights of DJing community. You know, I wasn't.
I know Chugs is he's making Chugs sure he's monitoring. I think post midnight is probably the play. My best guess will be
to just get an individual night. There'll be
an opportunity to get. I mean, if you want 3, which would be the reason you'd buy the Mint Pass, I think there will be a time in between now and next Thursday where it will be under 0.2 ETH. For maybe it's momentarily, but I did kind of think the Mint Passes would never get up to half an ETH, and here we are. So I'm admittedly terrible at trading NFTs. That's why I just stick money in blue chips, and I've tried to trade and mint and buy into like projects that had interesting narratives, and it just never goes well. So I just buy like the easy shit when I can, which is I was excited about the Vault because I think it gives people exposure to NFTs at a fractional level of ones they can't. And one of my cautions was, do we want to really add Top Shot? You know, Top Shot, I mean, I think it's still going to fucking crush, but a lot of people in the NFT world don't look at it. They almost look at it as like a negative that you would want to include it. But then we started asking people. Yeah, we started asking people, and they were so pumped up because the idea of being able to say that, you know, a Jason Tatum hollow is in the vault is valuable to them because they're just 100%. Never going to buy that.
In the
so
same,
I think that's cool too.
That'd be like saying, hey, whale shark and whale community, you're dum-dums for having $50 million of like Top Shot stuff in here. No, you're wrong. You're just flat wrong.
Right.
And I think that, you know, regardless of your position or what you think about Top Shot from a like general product, and hey, there's so many of these common things, like what you can't fake and you can't reverse is the fact that there are really, really, really rare stuff that's out there that like isn't getting any less rare. Yeah, there's other stuff, but like there's only 1,000 Kobe tributes. Like there's only 1,000.
You know, it's interesting, especially
the more of them.
The combo we just came off of, which is the utility. Like Top Shot's almost in a really fun position of like, you know, the value of you know the value of stuff, and all they can do is add on to it with their utility, which I think is a major plus for them.
Yeah, I think the next season is going to be really interesting with Top Shot, and I think we're past like there's like the super negative sentiment that was there in April and May and June has sort of like leveled off because things have bounced back. Number one, people have been made whole in different ways. Like they've cooled off, right? Cooler heads prevail. And there's just been like, there's not been as many decisions to scrutinize, I think, number one. But number two, like there's an excitement and sort of a building of anticipation of what's coming next. And I think with Series 3, I think with the introduction of the trade ticket stuff, like if you're not thinking that Series 3 or whatever, like the 2021, 2022 season, like all the common moments are going to be worth, like they're literally going to mint them to 250,000.
Yeah.
They're going to be
like
$1.
And
that's okay. But if you can position yourself in a place where you can be accessible to rare drops, that like you can put your capital to work in that way, you can, you know, build your build your collection of Milwaukee Bucks moments, like so that you can get the discount code for the store or sit in the Top Shot section or whatever those things are. Like there's going to be a lot more of that type of stuff, I think, that like wasn't there before, where it was literally just playing the stock market, because that's what it was in like in
it was all store value. It was all,
and that was
value.
I mean there were a lot of people who wanted it to be like that. Like I remember when Jeremy was on Club Top Shot super early days, he was like anti-game, anti-utility. He only wanted it to be like a kind of stock market. A sports card.
Of course he did.
Which I get.
He made the biggest purchase on the marketplace, and it's in his best interest to not have any stuff new, right?
Not have the meta change at all.
Yeah,
right?
100%. I get that.
I think it goes both ways, but it's going to be an interesting ride. I think that flow is. I mean, look, the conversation of building for the future, right? This company is valued at $7.5 billion. Like they're not going anywhere.
Just
and you're betting
50.
You're betting Supdux devs because you know the price went up to 3 ETH, which is great. Don't get it twisted.
I actually
do like.
And it's up to 3.5.
No, I think the Ducks are cool and the community's probably fun and like all that, but like at the end of the day, who are you betting on? The NBA with $7.5 billion val or Supdux? You know.
I'll be right back.
So yeah, I have a really interesting point. I'm curious, Jack, your thoughts on this generally. I think a lot of people have this perception of, and I'm not an ape owner anymore. I owned 1/10 of it and no longer there. You know, Punks to an extent with Punk's comic and Meta Hero stuff. Like, I think there are a lot of people that feel like there is IP that is being generated right now in the NFT space that's going to go viral and mainstream. And I am of the opinion that that's absolutely not going to happen. And
ever? Or these projects?
Yeah. Nothing right now is going to be like viral mainstream. Like everybody knows about these things and they like, you know, they're going to be at Target and shirts of like this shit's going to be there. I think what's very likely to happen is that existing IP from major brands becomes NFTified in a way that like takes over in a really significant way. There's going to be niche communities and niche stuff more broadly, but apes is a really good example of this, right? Like there are 5,000 people that own Bored Apes, right? Roughly.
Yeah.
How many people care about Bored Apes?
Not 5,000.
10,000 maybe. There's 5,000 other people that want one.
Yeah.
But I don't know that if you don't own a piece of that and the price action of that they mean anything to you.
So
other than that's cool.
I totally agree. I totally agree
because it's inaccessible. It's completely inaccessible. And yeah, the mutant apes is great. Like the dogs are great, but okay, add the Venn diagram of this, or the Euler diagram actually, because it's multiple. It's 20,000 people. Do you know how many fucking people care about Hello Kitty? Do you know how many fucking people care about Marvel? Do you know how many fucking people care about all this other major IP? Yes, there are going to be pockets of these things that become bigger, right? Yeah. Top Shot has 500,000 accounts, but it's major IP that already exists, right? CryptoKitties is different than that, right? They got 100,000 unique people to breed cats, right? But I don't think, and maybe Axie to an extent, unless there is something where there are really discernible, definable characters that are exceptionally widespread in terms of their diffuse ownership, there's no way that a small pocket PFP project with limited IP and limited ownership is going to have any mainstream impact in a really meaningful way. I just don't see it. I
people are going to come after you, but I think you're totally right, though. I think you're totally right.
So it's interesting, and just to go off the chat, Snooze Fighting, I don't have any interest in spending money, and then Mike Weisberg, Laborde James signed with CAA. So of course there's
is that the guy that's it's Jenkins though, right?
Jenkins,
whoever it is,
the chauffeur
Jenkins.
So my take on that would be, I agree with the whole sentiment, and this is why I don't necessarily buy the community stuff as much either. Is it's only, for us it's 8,888. For a lot of projects it's only 10,000 people. Like you said, how many people can get that excited about it? So I don't see it with Bored Apes. With Punks, maybe. I'll only give it a maybe just because of who the holders are, right?
So here's an example though. Yeah. I am about as in the weeds in NFTs as you could be.
Yeah.
Could you sell me a Punks shirt?
No.
No. Would I watch a Punks cartoon?
No, probably not.
Nope. Literally, you could not create content that I would care about Punks.
Actually, I bet you if there's a Punks cartoon on Twitter, you'd watch it.
A retro video game. A retro video game.
I watched half of the Stoner Cats first episode.
Yeah, I didn't even know Stoner Cats.
I just can't care because I don't have a vested interest in it, and not that I need to, but I don't need to have a vested interest in fucking Bluey, but I watch it anyway because it's accessible and my kids like it. Right.
So
that's what's gonna matter.
Less IP chatter, but more just in general. When you think about a lot of these NFT projects, is that's another reason why I'm so bullish on Top Shot. It's the price going up of Bored Apes was so exciting, and that community was killing it, and it FOMO'd other people. But we saw it in February. If Top Shot's pumping, you have 500,000 people that are all it's on ESPN, it's on Bleacher Report, it is on your entire timeline, it's on every social media platform. So I think that's just a good example of communities that can include bigger amounts of people are probably more valuable. It's an interesting take. I don't think it's a wrong one. And that's what I was trying to explain to Mike last night, was it's just a lot of us are in short-term thinking right now, which is, if it doesn't have a narrative, it doesn't have a story. But Bored Apes does have a narrative. And Pete made a really good point, which is a lot of people who came into NFTs, they know that Stephen Curry has one. And that's the narrative, that it is really cool to have a Bored Ape. And now they do have, right? No one cares that the Maybach car wasn't the first luxury car ever. It's no, that's an exclusive club of people. And because Jay-Z might have one, it makes it a cooler car, and it's what people want to have.
No, I agree with you. And actually,
Yeah.
there's so Claude is in the chat. He's also in the green room behind the scenes. It's
What up,
Van
Claude?
Stroke, because we're going to talk about his project, and
Yeah.
I want to sort of digest these dynamics. I just noticed it is the fourth quarter. You have to go watch the fourth quarter for your job.
I kind of got to check it out. I know we got to
You
get
do need
Claude
to-
in here.
14-6.
So Jack, anything
well,
that you want to leave
Carolina
folks
about to
with
score,
before
I
we
think.
kick you out of here and say be on your merry
Yes, they
way?
did already.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. I think these are super fun chats, and I'm really excited. Like, a lot of us are literally like, it's stupid to call ourselves NFT experts because we've only been, you have to acknowledge you've only been in it for 6 months, but being in it for 6 months in the grand scheme of things is a very long time. And, a lot of our takes are only based off of the past 6 months and what we expect in the next year. Coming back in 5 years, like, this stuff will be resurfaced, and we'll see like all the ridiculous shit that was being said. I said last night or Tuesday night that I think like the people who claim NFTs are dumb, money laundering, and scams will look right for a moment in time until we hit the next level of NFTs, which is further tech, further utility, and eventually the metaverse. Mike, we would love to have you involved. I'm not here. They were trying to get me to pump and dump the project on Snapchat. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. Yeah, that's not what I'm here for. We're going to build something fun. So come join in. I hope to be successful with it and hope to bring some people along for the ride. But I do appreciate you guys having me. This is fun.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right. Well,
I'm going to jump out. Yeah, okay. I'm going to jump out. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, it was good talking to you. Have a good
Peace.
one. Always good talking with Jack.
Yeah. So we got
he's sharp. Yeah.
We got Claude coming in. He needs to school us, man. Because
I know he was in the chat. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate
some hot takes. Well, Shucks. I mean, like, he's convicted. He's convicted and probably has some good perspective, honestly. So
we got to give something away though. I feel like we got to give something away. Jack didn't bring anything to give away. That's okay. But I feel like we need to give something away. So,
all right. I haven't opened a pack. I didn't open my stress test pack. I'll give away a moment from it.
Do you want to open your stress test pack and then give something out of it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Claude, do you want to? Can you give me a thumbs up? Do you want to come on and watch us open a Top Shot pack? Okay, Claude, I'm bringing you in. How's it going?
What's up, guys?
What is up, man?
Not too much. Have you ever seen a Top Shot pack be opened?
No.
Well, you're in for a treat. Well, cool. Absolute treat.
The music's good, not too loud. So let me.
Welcome to the stream. We're very, very privileged and blessed to have you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
You guys are killing it. You guys know so much stuff. I'm like, oh my god. I'm just sitting here also having like a million ideas. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, if you want to have like a brain meld, like a mind meld, right? Like in the next hour, I'm here for it. I've got so many ideas. I want to tell you about my Russian nesting doll NFT idea. Okay.
I love the fact that you guys covered both sides. You're like, well, Punks doesn't have to have any utility and it's going to be worth a ton. And then apes have utility, so that's valuable, but not really. It's like you're covering everything, and I'm just like, oh my god, we're doing the wrong thing no matter what we're doing.
The hot take on apes is just like, it's cool because it's valuable, or it's valuable because it's cool. Like that's sort of this self-fulfilling thing with them, and like there's no doubt they've done a lot of stuff community wise, but like that's, you got to keep the music playing, right? Otherwise, then people kind of look around and they're like, is this cartoon ape really worth $1 million or whatever? If we're just kind of like having it as a flex on socials, like that's that's sort
then
of.
You went to
I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Then you went to the point of like, it's all gonna flip over and be like all Marvel and Disney and everything, and
I don't buy
these
that completely.
These won't survive. That is what you're kind of suggesting. But my point was that doesn't matter because I do really well, and I'm in like this tiny little corner of electronic dance music, and electronic dance music is only like 5% of the music market.
True. Like it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be
there's like billions
it scratches
of people.
the itch for the people that matter, or that it matters to.
As long as you kill it in your niche,
right,
you can have a really nice life.
There's a lot of money out there, and there's a lot of tastes.
Somebody
out there,
clip that.
You know what I mean?
Somebody clip that. I feel like that's wise wisdom for people. Is like, if you kill it in your niche, you can have a really nice life.
Yeah, find your corner.
I think what we're responding to directly is like, there are a bunch of like Bored Ape maxis, I would call them, like, that are like, Bored Apes are inevitable, and it's the best thing that's ever happened. And
replace Disney.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted that.
Oh my God!
Like,
like,
it's like,
I can't wait until this is like the next major thing, and like it's gonna take over the world. And it was like, you know how many people care about Bored Apes? Literally, you can count on like an abacus. Like, you don't need
Right.
6 figures to do it, because it does. There's not 100,000 people.
The 10,000 makes it really scarce, but also makes it have no ability to scale because there's no one else that can get one.
Right.
Unless they have an unreasonable amount of money.
Yeah. And that's wonderful. Like, if you're into that, and I equated it in before, like, if you're into really high-end watches, like Philippe Patek or whatever these other boutique watches are, that's awesome. And you know what? The vast majority of people don't give a shit. Number one, won't be able to recognize what it is. Number two, and can never afford it. Number three, but if you want to flex with your other rich friends, it's a really good way to flex with your other rich friends that are in the know. So there's sort of like dynamics playing out with that, but we'll get into that.
That goes back to my point of niche market, because I travel all around the world like a million times, and I see all these crazy watch stores in the airports and like Switzerland and everyone. And I'm like, who the fuck is buying these watches? They have so much money for advertising, and it's not that many people, but it's enough people for them to have a nice life.
For sure. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open this pack. We're gonna give away a moment out of it, so that we can scratch the itch of the people in the chat, because they've been going 75 minutes and we haven't given them something, which you've not been on the stream before. People get restless. Like, we give away a lot of stuff, but like, they get restless out there. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna see your Top Shop.
I want to show one thing that I went and grabbed. This was, by the way, you mentioned Subducks. This was the piece that Frankie Nines made for me, that I made it into a canvas. I'm going to give it to my son as a birthday present, because he was part of, we won like a meme contest with Subducks. So anyway, this is the guy.
That's awesome.
And it's got like my handle, or on this side, it's got my handle on it. And like, he drew it live, like on the Discord stream.
Yeah, I remember that night. You weren't paying attention to me at all.
No,
I was talking
not at all. So anyway, like, it's a nifty little picture. My son, coincidentally, like, just loves the aesthetic of the Subducks. So, you know.
How old is your son?
He's gonna turn 5 like a week from now. So like, he's just it's like a fun cartoon. They have an app where you can like Photoshop crap and stuff, and he thinks it's
I'm trying to get my 15-year-old into NFTs, and he's like, Dad, don't talk to me about this. But I'm like, no, you really should know about it.
Yeah, just say, trust me, it's going to be worth your while. Just get involved.
I try, trust me. I got him.
Like, I'm trying to tell you about Google.
That was as far as I could get. Yeah.
Hey, that's a start. Well, let's crack this pack. Let's give something away, and then we'll talk about
here we go.
Dirty Birds.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see if this is straight cheeks or not.
We've got cheeks or booty cheeks. So this is a pack that's very likely to have total trash in it. Like, it's going to have some shitty stuff.
It's a $9 pack.
They give you this whole animation and everything. It's cool.
Oh yeah, and it's got the nice music behind it.
Yeah, and each, like, this is just the base set. Again, like, $9 pack. They have different tiers of ones that are. You know.
And what is the technology that's running this reveal?
Good question. Don't know. Yeah, the big ragu, Dante
DiVincenzo.
Okay.
All right. So this little white guy layup. All right.
Important note here. Dante D, right? Milwaukee Bucks. This will have the badge for the championship year moment, because the Bucks won this year.
Correct. So that's kind of cool.
So the serial number is 5882 out of 4,000. So probably middle of the road. I assume this
probably
is like
it's probably a $3 or $4 moment.
Let me look.
We got a jumper from Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans.
Ooh, trash. Booty.
This is pretty much a trade ticket right here, guys. a trade ticket. Just so you know, Claude. They've recently instated the ability to it's not burning them technically, but you can like give them back and get a trade ticket, and that's sort of like a in-platform currency, if you will, for other things.
$5 for that Dante.
So like so in this Top Shot realm is like LeBron's block shot on the Warriors like $10 million or something.
It would be if it existed. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's not in there yet.
But
it's only well, they do have a throwback set where they go, it's like the 2013-14 season, and they're going to do more, but so far it was last season, like the season before the one that just finished, and then this last season are the only two that have like a full slate of moments.
So how much is like Damian Lillard hitting the three at the end of that series against, God, who was it? I don't even remember.
I think that was series 1, right?
Yeah, I'd have to.
Was that the playoff moment last year? Or no,
I'm just trying to get
ago,
like a gauge of how much what's the cheap.
I mean, we can look.
I'll
flip through.
So all these right here. Dante DiVincenzo is $5. That Brandon Ingram's $5, and the Chris Paul was $6. So Chugs paid $9 for that pack, and ended up with, I don't know, $16.
Well, I'm going to give away one of them though. So
it's very much like.
Probably give away the Chris Paul because I think I have a couple of those already.
So.
Yeah, it's very much like the old packs of like you get the gum and you get like 9 shitty cards and like maybe one good one.
Interestingly
I'm
enough,
pull up a special one. Well, go ahead, Plunge.
Yeah, he'll pull up some special moments that like are super rare and super coveted because of their significance historically or otherwise. But broadly speaking, that's the idea, is that we need to get to a spot where from a supply perspective that like you're pulling less than what you paid for the pack out of it on average, or else you're going to end up in a spot where people are literally only buying it because you can just flip them and make money. Right. And there's this big, concept that, collectible markets more broadly, especially with cardboard, like and actual physical cards, like they need to be, on average, need to be less than what you're paying for them in order for it to be financially viable as a collectible. This moment that he's showing right now is there's only 1,000 of them that will ever exist. This is the first time, like the first debut, or excuse me, this actually isn't the Top Shot debut, but it happens to be a very important moment. It was a tribute dunk done by LeBron James on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death, sort of commemorating.
It was the first game after he died. It was the first game after he died. Their first game in Staples, a fast break. It was a fast break, and he dunked it. And if there's YouTube videos out there where they do side by sides, and it's like a carbon copy of a Kobe Bryant fast break dunk.
Wow!
And so people call it the Kobe tribute dunk. Right. And so that's hence the price tag on it.
Right. So another really big example this year would be like the Giannis block in the playoffs against DeAndre Ayton in the finals, that he stuffed him at the end. So a lot of the like really significant series moments. So much like that chase down block against Andre Iguodala, or the Dame Lillard shush moment, like where he drilled it from forever away.
Yeah.
Like, when they come onto the platform, they will be really iconic, and hopefully they will make them very rare so that very few people can have access to them, and they are ultimately it should be in the finals legendary moments, dude. I think it's legendary.
Has the NBA promised that they're never gonna let like another
they have an exclusive
technology
sort of like
have these like shots or whatever?
Yeah, for the time being, like they have an exclusive license to sort of like do the digital collectible things. But yeah, this is one that
amazing.
Yeah, it's really impressive. So that common moment, and there's actually like 10 times as many of that LeBron, but it happens to be in like series 1, so it's super rare. This is probably a better moment in the grand scheme of things because it was really impressive in the finals.
In the count, and look how, I mean, it's a whole 100.
There's only 120 of these ever, but somewhere in the 10 grand range. So interestingly enough, we're going to give away one of those moments that Chugs came out of with, and we can talk about later, but I want to talk about your project. So let's give away something in the chat. What are we going to type in the chat, Chugs?
Let's type in our special guest's name. We'll go Claude. Type in Claude.
Claude. And again, if you are a subscriber to our channel, your luck is significantly increased. We can't make it only for subscribers because that's illegal. But in the meantime,
There they go. There's all the
we can make it worth your while.
We're gonna play our giveaway song and go from there.
Subscribe and that bullshit. You might win some free shit. Give. Gonna give away. We're gonna give away some. Give. We're gonna give away. We're gonna give away some. Give away some. Give away some. Give away some. Give away some.
So Caruso made us a shorter version of that, so we could only do it in 30 seconds. So Claude, I'm sure you're familiar with Jack, but Jack produced that as well as every other song on our podcast, or on the Twitch
Gallagher.
Don't tell his don't tell his real name.
Yeah,
he goes by Caruso's missing hair.
Caruso. Sorry,
Caruso's missing hair, but yes,
Jack's the one that set this all up.
Yes, he set that one up. So we're gonna roll it here for Claude. Freddie, Top Shot Tesla is the winner. Top Shot Tesla. Hit us in the chat with your Top Shot username, and we will get that moment over to you. Top Shot Tesla. Congratulations on the win. So Claude, Jack made it possible for you to come on today. What are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about you personally, but like you've got an NFT project coming up, correct?
Yeah.
So talk to me about it. Talk to us about it. Give us a spiel.
So my sister, who's at Fanny Pack Films, her name's Emily. She started the NFT department. I own a record label. If you have no idea who I am, and I'm just on here, I own this label called Dirty Bird for the last 16 years. And we make house music mostly, some kind of weird bass music here and there. And we throw festivals, do tons of clothing. And I really started to get into the NFT stuff. And then Emily and I and Jack came in and started kind of like saying, oh, we could do this whole generative thing. And it made a lot more sense than just, we're already doing like art NFTs, like one-of-ones and like small animations and stuff. But the generative thing made more sense to me because of the community aspect, and we're a really strong community-based label. And so I was like, oh, everybody's just throwing up. Sorry. Everybody's just throwing up like penguins and dogs and cats and mice and whatever. And like you were saying, like, if no one even cares about apes, like, do they care about the new muskrats? Like, I don't know.
It depends.
So,
do you have a golden muskrat? Do you have a muskrat with laser eyes?
Does one have laser eyes? Do you have laser eyes? That's the most important.
That's the most important.
Laser eye muskrats riding a 3-wheel unicycle, whatever. But anyway, so like I was thinking, well, we have all this actual stuff.
Right.
That we have the actual
IRL
things.
stuff, the in real life things.
So we have music, festival tickets, weekend throw parties just for the token holders and all this kind of stuff. And we also have a streaming channel where we stream DJ sets. We had a whole, like during COVID, we had 11 shows a week. It kind of tapered down. Once all the DJs started getting gigs again, they didn't want to do it. But when they were locked at their houses, we had like 22 hours of programming or something. It was crazy. But so I was like, we can take the old logo that I drew when I was in like 6th grade and turn it into this generative bird drawing. And we have this artist named Birdcap, who's a really famous muralist from Nashville. And he came on board and was totally into it. And he was the absolute perfect guy, because a lot of the artists that we hire, we have a different artist every year on our record label, but a lot of them are painters. So it would take them like a year to do this. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
To make like 300 parts. But Birdcap's really fast and he has a good sense of humor, and he was able to really move on this. And so it all just started to come together. We got all these awesome team members. We have people from Space Punks, from Wiki Craniums.
This is dope. I'm super
and
into the
like
graffiti art, like aesthetic. I don't have any,
yeah,
but it always draws me. And you talk about muralists, right? Like big, sort of like exhibition pieces is maybe the right term, but like, hey, this is
yeah,
an event in and of itself. It's not just, hey, I'm going to produce a million of these things, but like it's a singular thing because of the constraints of where I am, how much space I have, what I'm trying to
yeah,
communicate. Like I you know, really high end or high quality mural or graffiti art is something that I've always been sort of drawn to, at least aesthetically. So that's curious. I don't know of Birdcap, but other than through this project now, but it's really cool that you've brought someone in that's sort of has an
yeah.
established presence outside of digital art.
Well, there's like a whole genre of art called lowbrow surrealism or pop surrealism that I've been into for a super long time. And so I was saying every year we hire a different artist to do the art for the entire year.
Mhm.
And even the guy that's doing the art this year became kind of a popular NFT guy. His name's Chema Mendes.
I know that name.
But his stuff is more collage style, and he wasn't going to be able to do this like bird drawing thing, but he's awesome as well. And we also got the guys that are programming it just happen to be the woman who runs my cabin at our festival. It's called Claude's Cabin. It's like kind of like a vaudeville, like has just weird shows all day. Her boyfriend ended up being the guy who did Robotos. And so we just randomly found a dev team. It just all came together so
That's
weirdly
awesome.
that it was just really cool.
It's almost like when you surround yourself with super creative people and you network with super creative people, that when a super creative idea comes together, you can leverage those super creative people to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big part that's like going off in my head hearing you talk about it, is just like there's a lot of projects out there that, and I don't want to just do like the comparison thing. I said it with Jack before too, with like his relationships and their project. Like you have a lot of leverage to pull, I guess, is kind of what it, that like it all boils down to that. And like you've got relationships that were established well before any of this kind of, before this area really kind of came to be. And so you have ways that you can sort of take things to the next level much more than just like hyping up a Discord or, doing a sweep the floor, like initiative or whatever, so like that's what's going off in my head hearing you talk
It's
about
like all
plans
the
and stuff.
pieces came together for me personally as well. It's like I already collect all this kind of surrealist art. I'm super into collectibles. I collect 80s X-Men. Basically,
Sweet.
X-Men 94
Very nice.
to 200. I collect. That's like my niche. I only collect
Okay.
it, and maybe a little Moon Knight. But
I'm not a big comic book guy, but that like the fact that you have something that like you care about specifically, it goes back to the point you were making before about like your niche is your niche, and it doesn't matter
Yeah.
that like nobody else cares about it, or there's a smaller group of people that care about it relative to the larger public. Like it's something you care about. We talk about this all the time, and the same concept, like you go into your grandma's house or you go into the neighbor's house and they're collecting like angels, like Swarovski crystal angels, and you're like, God, this is tacky. But you know what? They're probably really proud of that, and it makes them happy, and that's all that really
and who
matters.
knows? She might be able to like maybe like if you ever get it at the end, like it's worth like
real talk. My mom has gotten a single crystal every year since like 1985. Like
I mean,
literally
that's gotta
has
be worth
one.
something.
Like every year she gets like one from some, like I don't know if there's like a set or something, but she's got like this spot. It's not very big because the pieces themselves aren't huge, but she's got like this little area. It's just like fucking Swarovski crystals. It's ridiculous.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Somehow
we'll see if it ends
those
up at my house
crystals
sometime.
just are everywhere.
Yeah, they really are. I mean,
They're putting out an NFT. No, they're not.
They probably
They're
are.
the same.
I wouldn't be surprised
Good.
by it. I mean, every big brand's getting into this, but sounds like you sort of mentioned pandemic, right? And you're producing lots of live streaming content. So
Yeah.
I guess take us a step back. Talk to us a little bit about the project specifically. What's it's going to be? What timeline are we working with? We've got, little less than 100 people right now, but most of them are going to go to whatever site we tell them to for
And
like
talk
looking
about it
more,
with their
more into
friends.
this.
And
I sent the Discord earlier, but like talk to us a little bit about the Dirty Bird project the Dirty Bird Flight Club project more specifically.
Okay, so it's 9,090 with a pre-sale mint of 909. It's just all based on the 909 drum machine. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but
I know what an 808 is.
I know
but I've never
808s.
heard of
So
it.
from New
So
Orleans
the
bounce music,
909
I'm definitely with 808s.
The 909 is the next drum machine after the 808, and it's much more of a house music drum machine. But it basically looks the same. It's just a different color.
Okay.
And then it's our drop is going to be the main drop is 0.06 ETH on October 5th. But if you go to the Discord or just go to our website, you can try to get into the pre-mint.
There's going to be a pre-mint. The main drops on the 5th. Is the pre-mint on the Sunday before? Do I remember that correctly?
I think so, yeah.
The 3rd.
I don't know
October
exactly
5th
how the days go, but yes.
Gotcha. Yes, the 3rd. Freddie's
okay, you have a calendar
Jack's
here,
telling me, the 3rd. So hop into the
good.
Discord. Which I'm going to copy that link again. So this discord.gg flight club. Smart getting the actual link instead of those crazy like characters on the end of it. So with that, so you said like roughly a 10th will be that pre-mint, but then the public sale will be on the 5th on that Tuesday.
Well,
and
go ahead. There is kind of a second thing, but I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it.
Don't break any rules. We don't want you to.
There's kind of a medium.
Actually, spill it. It's good for content.
There's not that many people. There's kind of a medium secret mint in between.
Okay.
If you can't get in the 909,
hey, everybody. There's 800. There's 80. I see 87 or something like that. There's 87 people in here.
Quiet.
Be very quiet. Nobody in here can post anything about this. This is alpha. Yes, and facts. We call this alpha in the space. So, Claude, spill.
Medium secret.
The medium.
So there's 909. There's 909 where we're like actually getting your wallet, right?
Okay.
And then you're in the list and you're guaranteed. But then after that, if you miss that because you just can't get it together, there is kind of like a little secret point that I'm not supposed to talk about that I'm probably going to get yelled at for, where you can also come in before the main release, and that is going to be a notification. So you have to kind of get on the mailing list.
You got to be on the mailing list so that you're primed and ready to receive the alpha.
But honestly, I would recommend just getting in the 909.
Yeah,
there's still some spots left on that.
Where do we?
I think I got into it. I signed up.
But we're way over half. We're like way over half on that.
Okay.
So I don't know how long that's going to be available.
It might be, well, whenever people listen back to this, because it's going to go away after we get in here. So I'm gonna pull this over to my other screen and I'm gonna join the invite for this guy. So everybody else, again, that Discord is discord.gg.flightclub. Copy in there. Join that 909 so you can get that mint. So again, 0.06 is the price.
0.06, October 5th is like the main drop, but we're expecting only like half of them to be available by then.
Okay. And they look, so would you say that this is a representative piece of the 9,090?
Yeah, there's a lot of parts. We have a lot of more parts than usual. Okay. I think there's like 250 plus parts.
Okay.
And there are crazy parts like there's going to be some super rare like sets that are like all Silver Knight or like all Egyptian Pharaoh, kind of weird. There's wild stuff in here. Birdcap went crazy.
Wild's my thing.
He really did a good job.
Seeing his Twitter feed, I'm about it with his art for sure. Like just like what Plunge is saying, the graffiti art and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like to go to the media tab when I look at someone's new like a profile. I don't want to read their thoughts. I just want to look at the cool shit they post.
Yeah.
If it's just all GIFs and memes, different. But yeah,
No,
this is like
excellent.
That's legit.
really, really impressive. Okay, so here's the sneak peek that he posted 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay, I'm into this. You know what this reminds me of? Like, I don't know if Claude, where are you?
That's
right now,
Birdcap.
That's
his actual Birdcap's bird.
Oh, okay, that's cool. that's awesome. So this is his.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be his
He
avatar.
made that for himself.
There you go. That's awesome.
Not a
where
token for
where are you located right now? Like, are you in Southern
Oh,
California?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go to Disneyland often?
Not really.
When's the last time you went
I've
to
been.
Disney?
I've been a few times.
Okay.
Probably before the pandemic. Probably a year.
Okay.
2-3 years ago, maybe.
There's this place called the leaky tiki room at Disneyland, which is like an old school place. Like people, they go to the Frozen stuff, they go to like Tomorrowland, but like that's where my parents took me. They're like, we're going to the tiki room. This is like tiki room vibes, and I'm about it. Because I'm into it. I'm fucking into it. I'm telling you right now. I'm all about this.
Well,
so
we're gonna give one away or two. I don't know if that's
you tell me, man. I don't get to choose.
You're driving the ship, buddy.
You get to drive.
We're giving
buddy.
a couple away, but Jack is gonna have to tell you how to do it. I don't know.
Do you want me to pull him in? I can send him the link.
Yeah, he can jump in if he wants.
Caruso, if you're here, hop into the stream area and we can do it. We can.
I try to know everything, but I don't know everything.
I saw Fanny in as well. So Fanny's your sister?
Yeah.
Do you want Fanny? If you don't have the link yet, I can send it to you in DM as well. Like you're all welcome to join the stream and talk if you'd like. You share it amongst yourselves.
Campfire chat.
Campfire chat. We could do whatever. So Fanny, let me send this to you.
I wanted to ask with the music, the aspect, like, are you guys gonna heavily incorporate, like, leverage that part of that side of things?
That's another thing I'm really
like. Are we gonna have like exclusive shows, like virtual or in real life and stuff like that, or early access to stuff, or what's kind of the
all
thought
of the
there?
above?
Nice.
All of the above, pretty much. We already have I think it's almost 10 track release that's only being released to the 9090 people. Like it's not coming out on Spotify or anything.
Right.
And that's going to come out during our festival so that all the people who have FOMO that they're not at the festival will still get music that no one else has.
That's cool.
And then there's going to be a secret meetup at our festival just for the token holders. And then I think Birdcap's coming to do a live mural at the festival just for those people. And then we are having, if it sells out, we're having a party in LA, and you have to have a bird to get in.
Only birds are allowed for where the corner of the music festival where the good weed is.
Right. We'll just do stuff like this all the time. Yeah. Like whenever we have something, there'll be like a thing for bird holders. Do you know what I'm saying? We have a lot of possible things that we can do, and we're promising that we're going to make clothing once we sell out the mint, and just make everything that we already do available.
Yeah, this is where it's like you've got the infrastructure to where you can execute on a lot of the roadmap stuff that a lot of projects, like, bless their heart, they lay it all out, but like
bless their heart.
It's a Southern thing. I'm Memphis, New Orleans guy, but like it's one of those things though where like, what's up? There he is.
Hey.
You promise a bunch of stuff and like you mean well, and maybe you do have certain things lined up or you've had some conversations, but like you know certainly more than anyone else, like the kind of groundwork that it requires to like have shows set up or have clothing line relationships established. And like all of that kind of stuff just greased and ready to go. The fact that you guys can kind of do that like right out the gate essentially is like, I feel like that's a very big sort of selling point, so to say, on a project. You know,
I would say that
not to ratchet up the pressure on you.
I would say that actual advantage of having this thing going for 16 years is that we know what not to offer because it's impossible to execute. Like,
Boom.
I saw
even better.
someone, I'm not going to name any names, but someone did an NFT that was like guest list for life. And I was like, oh my God, why did you do that? That is an unexecutable nightmare.
You know what I'm bullish on though? Denver Beer Company did an NFT for free beer for life that sold for like $5,000. They're going to make way more money on that than they actually got sent. And I think there are places where, especially like established brands, established locales, that like it makes sense to have that thing where you can flash it and it can be the next thing. We got someone else joining us. Fanny, how are you?
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi.
Oh, gang's in here.
The gang's
Good
all
vibes.
here.
Good vibes.
So this makes me so happy. Welcome, Fanny Pack.
Hi.
How are you?
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Perfectly
You're
well.
good.
Hi. How's it going?
It's great. It's great.
Good.
So I feel like we could bring you send the link to whoever, we can bring everybody in, but Claude, Fanny, Caruso, do you go by Caruso with these folks? Do you go by Jack? Do you go by Freddie? Like
what?
Yeah, how's it work?
So we've been operating a lot on Discord for sure.
Sure.
But so they'll tag me as Caruso, but on the phone and everything and Google, I think it's Jack. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I was I know Jack because we've been working together on some like audio and video stuff for the Twitch stream just by happenstance over time. But I'm so glad that he connected us with you because over the last 6-8 months now we've been doing this Twitch stream. It sort of morphed into from like a very focused Top Shot thing into let's talk to people about their NFT projects. And like, it's the most exciting, invigorating thing about about this like space for me is like figuring out what do you know that I don't, right? What do you see that I'm not seeing? What are you doing that I'm unaware of that I need to be aware of because it's exciting and you're excited about? Like what excites you about this thing? And Fanny, like, you heard us talk for the last 35-40 minutes or whatnot, but like, I saw you in the chat. What excites you about what you guys are doing right now and what you guys are putting together?
Oh my gosh, so many things. Well, I mean, I've been a part of the label for so long, but it's kind of the similar as it is for Claude is that like all of my interests are intersecting. So I'm a filmmaker and I actually I'm the director of video for Dirty Bird. So I've been making documentary and stop motion animation for like 15 years. And I've been like a freelance artist. Yeah. So when the pandemic hit and I was just like, what am I doing? The music industry shut down. We were all in our houses. I was like, I think I'm going to be an animator. And then a friend told me about NFTs and I didn't even know what the word blockchain was. Like I knew nothing. And I ended up in like some Clubhouse rooms, like NFTS tips.
Oh yeah.
And then
I'm sure you ramped up the curve quickly.
I was in those rooms till I was like passing out. You wake up and the room's still open and people are like, Danny back, are you still there? And I just made friends with people and like absorbed as much as I could. And there was like, it took a couple weeks, but there was that moment when it just sort of clicked. And then I started making digital art pieces that were analog, but sort of look like they were made in, how there was like this big cyborg kind of movement thing and like 3D animation. I hang out with a lot of 3D animators, but I like practical effects. So I started like dripping paint on things and making stuff that looked 3D. Anyway, long story short, I became an NFT artist. So I dropped on OpenSea and Foundation and stuff like that. So I got obsessed with it and I just kept texting Barkley and I was like, you were born to do this. Like everything about you like is an NFT.
As usual, I was like 2 months too slow, but then I was like, oh yeah.
So I just kept
right. What am I doing?
So we're learning everybody's names tonight. I gather.
Oh, sorry, did I say
doxing? Yeah. I love it.
Emily,
By the way,
so
my name's Pete. I go by. So my name's Pete in real life.
Emily.
Hi, Emily. Nice to meet you.
That's Barkley.
Hey, Barkley.
I'm Barkley.
Hey, Barkley. And that's Jack in the bottom right. Yeah. And then it's Chugs. It's Chugs is Chugs.
So that's my kind of long story of how I got it. And then I just kept bugging Barkley, like,
you should do this.
You gotta learn about these. You gotta learn about these. And then he picked it up really quickly. And then we started doing like our fine art stuff with Chema, with the album art and stuff like that. But you know, Claude. Barkley,
we also did some really. We also kind of blew it.
We didn't blow it.
Curve. We didn't blow it in the long term. Yeah. But you remember when like Nifty Gateway was just popping off, and every DJ was just coming in there and being like, "Hey, millions." Anyway, we were like, we want to make a piece that's better than all these pieces, but it took me so long to make it
took 6
that
months.
It was over.
It's crazy.
But we still have the pieces. So we're hoping that like maybe this flight club will like get us a little bit more into the NFT universe so that we can actually do a couple one-of-ones that are kind of really insane.
And if I can just kind of bounce off of that to pull it back to like what we're really excited about, on top of, there's a few points that I've heard that I wanted to say stuff about. And just when you're saying like right out the gate what they can provide, Chugs, like the project drops on the 5th. 10 days later is camp out. And people who hold tokens are going to be able to win tickets to camp out potentially in raffles. Simultaneously, there's secret shows, everything's set up. So yeah, it's like the immediate in real life utility was so exciting. And then,
by the way, can I say that I appreciate that this is alphabetically sorted and not like
how high profile the act is.
By the way, we have to do that.
There's a giveaway going on right now.
Otherwise, sorry.
Okay, there's a giveaway. I will post the giveaway. But why, Claude? Why you have to do that?
Because otherwise it's just managers fighting each other for like 2 months about who gets to be at the top.
We're just top of the line. Can we just put this out there? So like Sir fucking Mix-a-Lot is going to be there.
Yeah,
I know, but he's not going to be there.
No, he's not.
He can't.
I just found that out.
This is brand new information. He just canceled, and I'm like, no.
DJ Jazzy Jeff, love that.
I promise that the fill-in for Sir Mix-a-Lot is going to be just as cool, but I can't say who it is yet.
So this is in the Modesto Reservoir. So Modesto Reservoir, like Northern California, Modesto.
Yeah.
I'm from Stockton.
Oh,
yeah. Basically.
Fun fact.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
It's so I always explain this way. Like Modesto is an interesting place, but like if Fresno is the butthole of California, then Stockton is the taint.
Man, I want to go here.
Wow. There's the cool thing about Stockton is there's an inland port 80 miles from San Francisco. That's about it. That's why I'm wearing a 49ers jersey for everybody that's wondering. They're playing the Packers this weekend. But anyway, so that's really exciting. So anybody that's in that space, it sounds like Dirty Bird and Fanny, you said that you've got a giveaway right now. What can I link? What can I send to the people in the chat? Is it this tweet?
Yeah.
You got it.
It ends tomorrow.
Hey,
there
everybody.
It is.
Molesto.
Can win 2 tickets to Camp Out. And Camp Out is, by the way, adult summer camp with so it's not just music. There's literally tug of war, canoeing, archery, like crazy bingo.
You may not know this. You may not know this because why would you? But I'm an Eagle Scout. I was a counselor. I'm more proud of my Eagle badge than I am of my college degree. So
listen,
Plunge, come out to Modesto.
Everyone dresses like an Eagle Scout. Like it's all it kind of has Wes Anderson vibes. People wear the whole like Girl Scout.
Yeah, dude, I'll fuck with it.
Scouts.
I'm sorry that this covers your face, by the way. That's not something I can control.
Yeah, that's
if I could, I
unintentional.
would.
Like 5. All right. So 5 years before I ever spoke to either of these two, my buddy Alex Cantor was like, "You're coming with me this weekend. It's Dirty Bird Camp Out," and he literally just took yanked me. I didn't made me buy a ticket and just put me in a car, and it was one of the most incredible crazy weekends of my life. It's adult summer camp with the Dirty Bird label and Friends as a soundtrack. I don't even know how else to I could ramble about it for a while, but it's a pretty spectacular thing that they've put together.
And we may or may not be having a secret bird token holder situation happening at this camp out.
No, we are having that secret.
I know, but
where the good shit's gonna be. Where the good shit's gonna be.
King of the Docks.
He fell off.
Claude John.
We lost him.
it.
I wanted to say you said Wes Anderson.
There's
I
so
wanted
much
to
alpha
say,
here.
I wanted to say Claude's got some life Steve Zissou vibes going with that red hat.
Oh
dude.
yeah, he loves that look.
And he's got like a Jeff Bridges life aquatic thing going. It's great.
We lost him. Oh no.
Yeah, hopefully
That's
he
okay.
bounce
You can
back.
hop back in. Same link.
Well,
So Jack and Emily, I won't call you Fanny.
You can-
Jack and Emily, what else do we need to know so just to recap a little bit here. We've got join the Discord, number 1.
Yep.
Sounds like whitelist. If you haven't already, sign up for that, which is linked in the Discord.
Does this work if I do this? Or did I just I sent that to you?
You
guys.
sent it to me. I can
Yeah.
pass it along to
there we
everybody
go.
else. Here,
There we go.
I'll copy that link and send it to everybody else. So yeah, hit that Discord. Hit that Discord. Sign up for the whitelist. That'll get you on the 909 list. Sounds like there's a medium term thing in between there. But then public mint on the 5th.
Yep.
Generative art. The birds. We like the birds.
Totally randomized.
Totally
so you could end up
randomized.
with the robot bird or the pharaoh bird or the
Laser eyes?
punk
Can we get the
bird.
laser?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
There's
You
no
could end up
laser
with
eyes.
the gold bird. No.
Not yet. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do
That's a
laser
J.
eyes. Please
Don't do
don't.
laser eyes. It's
And
like
don't
a,
do like.
I know.
I'm
it's
not
like an
gonna say
inside joke.
There's
All
no
get it.
ETH bird. There's no
There's no-
bit bird.
Okay, that was my next question. Like, please don't put the ETH bird.
There's
No.
no.
Yeah.
It's
there's
exciting stuff. Super exciting stuff. So the 5th, and then adult camp out or like Dirty Bird camp out next weekend, the weekend following that,
basically,
Yeah.
Well,
or a week
14,
and a week and
15,
change.
16, 17 of October up in Modesto Reservoir.
But off of that, I mean, they have 2 campouts a year, east and west. Then they have multiple barbecues, and then there's so many other festivals. Like just while we've been in the promo for this and haven't even really started stuff, they've given away 5 tickets to different Dirty Bird shows, around the country. So
This is what Claude. This is what you're talking about with like the in real life stuff. Like you've already built up. There's so much stuff that you're already doing, right? You have all of these partnerships, you have all these activities, you have all of these shows, you have all of these things that this is a natural fit to sort of enhance
schedule-
and bring people into that.
That schedule doesn't even include my tour dates, which is
Are you coming to
100
Madison, Wisconsin?
shows.
Coming to Memphis?
Not anytime
New Orleans?
soon.
Probably.
Nashville?
New Orleans, probably. I was just in Nashville at Deep Tropics, that
Really?
festival.
It's not that far for me.
Yeah. 3, 4
Madison,
weeks ago.
Wisconsin.
Probably not.
There's nothing in the
Madison.
winter, so maybe next one.
There is a
Right.
festival that I was going to. What was that called? Oh, I don't remember. Sorry. I can't remember the name of it. But I used to go somewhere.
Would you
I don't
ever
know
hit
what
up-
this means, but Luis Angelo edits. Seems like he knows you well.
Yo, Claude, I had to pay to upgrade my GNA TV winner from last year. Yes, blame Andy.
JK.
There you go.
Seemed like a sweet comment.
Yes. So another question from the chat: are all the birds different? There's 9,090 of them.
9,090 unique birds, 100%.
Totally
no
randomized.
one bird will be alike.
Awesome.
And there's so many. Just of all the points I want to talk about, there's so many. But when we were talking about that one of one piece that Claude was working on for a really long time, and there's so much. If you look at all of the Dirty Bird artwork since 2012, it's the most insane stuff that's just prime for NFTs. and like the in-house artist he was talking about, everything just is on. It's on like that fuck render pop wonder like Jake. It's on that next level of NFT artist or above, and it's like that's when I stumbled across that's why I reached out to them in the first place about doing something like this, because they had such high quality, they had the community, they have all this in real life utility. So this project really is like an introduction for Dirty Bird into the NFT space on a generative level to build up the community here, because they already have it. But really, the long-term plan is going to be like the token holders are going to get a lot of access to the lower mint like higher art pieces, and I really see that this flowing into something on like a boutique art blocks kind of level with all the artists that they're working with. So that's my little ramble. I could keep going, but
no, it's great.
My one generic question: Why Fight Club?
Flight Club.
Flight. Oh, I thought I'm an idiot. I kept reading.
No,
I kept
but
seeing
it's
fight
good.
in my
You know
head.
what
I'm like,
the
fight.
first rule of Flight Club is
Don't talk about it.
Is always talk about Dirty
Yeah,
Bird
right. Flight Club for sure. My bad. I kept seeing. I was just seeing in my head Fight Club. I'm like Fight Club.
I just leaked
why?
that bird for fun. We have like
nice.
this generator that makes.
Do you have
all
any
these-
more? Emily, do you have any more birds?
You're welcome to share anything you want.
Can
on
I
the
put
stream,
it
yeah.
in this chat?
Yeah, so
How are we gonna give
you
away
can.
these birds, Caruso?
So Emily, what you do on the
Yeah.
bottom of your screen, it should be a button that
Chat
says
with
share
us.
screen, and if you click
Oh.
that, then I will see it and I can add it to the stream.
Yeah.
And Caruso, man, you have a mechanical keyboard, man?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're just clacking away like
I was
fucking
reaching out to
Clickety,
our
clickety,
back end
clickety.
devs.
the
I was
stenographer. Like I'm a big stenographer. TikTok.
He's trying to figure out
fucking
how we
lit.
can give away the birds. I think.
No, I know how to do that, but I was trying to see if I could show them that back end website of
The generator.
so we could just click through the preview to show them a few different
I can
things.
do that.
We got to make sure it's
allowed
okay.
to do that?
That's what I'm asking. I know how to do it.
Oh,
It's
I don't know.
if they're okay with it.
Let's why don't you just show us like one example? We don't
Just
want to
show
give
us a
too much
couple
away.
birds,
We want
Emily.
Here,
we're gonna show
I'm
a little
sharing my
skin. We're not going full nude here. We're
I'm
We
showing
can
a
look
little
at the
skin.
menu. We won't order anything.
I've got some screen share going on.
Cool. Yeah. So just hit the like share down below.
He just requested that we hide the URL. So as long as you do that, Emily, you're
Cool.
good.
I did.
So-
I am sharing my entire screen. I'm not sure what's happening now.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You're not
I'll put
yet.
it.
You would.
I'm not.
There's a button in StreamYard when you in
Like a
the
Chrome
web
tab.
viewer. Yeah, and it says share screen or something along the lines. Like right next
Down
to
at
the
the
gear.
bottom, yeah. Share
Yeah, down at the
screen.
bottom, and
Yep.
then it'll like let me. You have to like pick a screen to share, and then go from there.
Oh, here we go.
Shout out Rock Doggy, by the way, gifted some
Oh, nice. Thanks, Rock Doggy.
subs. Thanks, buddy.
Is it working yet?
Ooh, yeah, I can see it
Yeah.
now. Can you see it now?
Oh, that's different.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, that's cool. I feel.
Awesome. Yeah, you're good. I think it's
Nice.
very.
It's
It's too small
insane,
to see
right?
anything like
Yeah.
And I was talking
URL
about
wise.
there's this incredible back end website that the devs, and they're the devs of Robotos, by the way. They're great dudes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Steve's
an
all
awesome
about
project.
Robotos, right?
Yeah, hell
Roboto.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to kick it out.
But they built this great website for us to basically preview, and we can select all the individual traits to build it, or you can hit random and just test and look at all the make sure
That's
everything
awesome.
matches up. You can, yeah, it's really.
These are
Really
really,
rad.
cool, guys and gals.
That's
I love
supposed
Very,
to
the-
be.
very
the
sweet.
vinyl.
All right, I'm fucking in. All right, you don't need to sell me anymore. I'm fucking in. I'm fucking all about
We got
this.
two. We got two though that we're sending off to some lucky folks.
Are we
right here,
giving away
right?
stuff?
We're gonna do two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we were
Let's
gonna
So-
fucking do it.
So yeah, if what we're gonna handle, so we don't have the birds haven't been minted yet, but
Yeah, of course
basically, if
Right.
they DM me, I will guarantee that they will get those birds post drop.
Yeah.
I will handle
Okay.
that myself.
Yeah, so what we'll do, Claude, you saw us earlier. Like I have a what's called Nightbot, which is behind the scenes. It runs through, and we say a keyword, and we type it in, and then those people, I will get their ETH address, Caruso. Like they're responsible for getting me their ETH address, and I will get it to you guys, and then once all these get minted, 2 weeks from now, those people will get 2 of the birds.
I believe also we have a static egg, and then it kind of, and then it kind of gets animated, and then it reveals.
Our placeholder is almost as cool or cooler than
Don't give it away. Don't
It's
give it
so
away.
dope. Yeah.
Just saying, the placeholder is a piece of art in itself. The one,
Yeah, so there's gonna be a short time between when you get your bird and when you actually see it.
Or a long time if you're Superlative Secret Society, which minted yesterday, and I had friends that were until today that were still seeing the fucking render screen. Anyway,
hopefully that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. But I'm excited about this. 0.06. I'm fucking into it. Like Emily, what you just showed me, I was just like, yes, give me more of this.
I even have a bird cap drawing right behind me.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, in the little corner right there.
I love that.
There.
So we're gonna give 2 of these away.
Yeah.
So you want what should we type in the chat?
What's
Flight
the
Club
code word?
What's the code word?
Flight Club.
Flight Club.
All one word.
Flight with an L. Flight, like flight bird.
Yes.
All
Don't
one
write
word.
like if
Flight
they write
Club,
Fight Club,
one
they're
word.
automatically out.
Yeah.
Yep. Flight Club with 1 word. And we're gonna play
Flight Club like so.
We're gonna play the long
word.
giveaway.
Subscribe and that bullshit. You might win some free shit. Give. Gonna give away. We're gonna give away some. Give. We're gonna give away. We're gonna give away some. It could be you. It's probably not. It's probably not. And if it is, oh, that would be so crazy. I smell a bot. I smell a bot.
Rigged. This shit is rigged. Rig job selling. Come on. I can't tell you how much that makes me happy. It makes me so happy. Jack, so the genesis of this is like Jack was like, "Do you want a giveaway song?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want a giveaway song." Because I was playing our intro, which you haven't seen. We'll play that maybe later. But he was like, "Do you want a giveaway song?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want a giveaway song. Hell yeah!" And he's like, "Send me like a bunch of audio files of you saying rigged." And like it was literally 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I just like recording myself. It was so awkward. It was
I
so
think it was
awkward.
your birthday too.
It was my
You were just
birthday.
like drunk on your birthday, just like rigged.
Rigged.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll this shit. All right, here we go. The first giveaway winner is Easy Company 86. Easy Company 86.
Nice.
Again, your responsibility, Easy Company 86, is to get me your ETH address, Twitter or Discord.
It's a huge responsibility.
I don't want it in Twitch. Don't fucking put it in Twitch. I don't look at my whispers.
Do it.
Your job, Twitter or Discord.
Find him.
Find me. Subscriber, following since 610. Love it. 3 months. Love it. We're gonna roll it again. Okay.
Welcome to the
Cart
DFC.
Pig.
Cart Pig. I know that name.
Oh, I know that name too. So both of you, your job is to get me your ETH address. So
nice,
Emily.
Welcome to GFC. Let's
Welcome.
go.
You're like our first members. They're our first members.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a member already. Actually. I feel like I like.
You feel what?
I feel like I'm a member already. I don't know if that was what you were going for, but like, this is you're my people. I feel like you're my people. I hope you feel welcome here. Like this is a weird. Like, we have a weird vibe, like a good vibe, but like a weird vibe.
I like it,
and it's super like all over the place because you think like, oh man, it's Top Shot, but it's not. It's fucking more than that. And some people check out when we don't talk about Top Shot, and they're fucking missing out. There's so much alpha. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, anything else? Do you guys want to talk about like anything else you want to leave folks with? We're gonna raid up for anybody else that wants to stick around after we finish. We're gonna actually raid over. There's a card break stream, no hitter, NGO hitter that does cardboard, like physical card breaking. And I bought like a $700 pack of basketball cards that was gonna break. But we're gonna raid over after the stream is done. But anything else you want to leave folks with, links or otherwise? It was just a pleasure to have you. Absolute pleasure. I'm so happy that
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. Go follow some of our partners' projects like Wicked Craniums and
Space
Robotos, Space Punks.
Yeah, we
Channel
got
Mendez.
All right.
And we'll drop all the links for our stuff in here too.
Yeah, and get on the early bird list because that's going to be
on that early bird list.
I've been like a ninja while y'all are all talking. I'm like, I'm all signed up. I'm good to go.
I would type, but I'm going to click clack, and Plunge is going to yell at me. So if we,
I'm gonna mute you. You click clack. You click clack away. You click clack away. You send that all shit. You send all that shit. Send it all. Jack's good people. We like Jack a lot. I'm glad that he hooked up with you guys. He's very talented and like just a wonderful, wonderful dude. So I'm so glad that you guys got pulled into our little sphere, and we got pulled into your little sphere that might be a little bit of a bigger sphere now, which I think that's the whole goal. So Claude, Fanny, Emily, and Baxter. Is it Baxter? Did I say that right?
Barkley,
not Baxter.
I like
Baxter.
Baxter.
Good. I'll take
Spanish.
Baxter.
Emily and Baxter.
Baxter's like on an 80s sitcom, I feel like.
Barkley was the dog on Sesame Street.
Baxter was Ron Burgundy's dog.
That is true.
Baxter.
All right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to raid over while Jack sends those things over. We're going to raid over to No Hitter. He's working on, I think, like an MLB break, but we're going to do some basketball breaks. If you never cracked cardboard, it's super fun. I've got a ton of it's some
degen stuff right here.
It's some super degen stuff.
It only gets deeper.
My son was super deep into Pokemon cards, and he did those things where you would buy the block of them, and then they would open them on Twitch.
Oh yeah,
and then send them
That's
to
what
you.
We're going to.
Yeah.
The guy that we're going to is just like he's much like you all. He is my kind of people. He is like a positive, lovely person. He's a lot of fun. He has a good time with the people in there. Looks like there's about 40, 50 people in there. So we're going to raid over there. Anybody that wants to come, you're welcome to.
Cool.
I think they're cracking some like baseball stuff, but he's got a cardboard pack that we're going to crack with stuff that I bought already. And then we're going to do some more stuff because
Does he wear gloves while he?
I don't know. Good question. Good question. But we're going to raid over there. But thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And we will see you soon. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for showing
good
us
luck
your
with the. Good luck with the.
Thank you.
We'll be following the Flight Club.
Plunge, Chuck, thanks for having us. I feel like I haven't talked to you all the past 2 weeks because we've been working on this, man. You know. But yeah, I miss you, and this has been it's always a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, I gotta figure out how to do this.
A raid.
Does this work?
I don't know how that works.
This channel is okay. Cool. We're gonna end with that. I'm gonna turn our outro music out, and we'll go from there.